So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. A 3 o'clock kickoff, Paddy. Something that it seems like forever since we've had a 3 o'clock kickoff, but we have one today, and nearly got caught out by the start time for the team sheet tantrum because of it.
I did get caught out because we haven't even had our usual chat before we got on here, so apologies for the delay. Richard knows I set a challenge there, Neil. He wants to see Paddy the dog. How are we going to do that?
He's outside. Watch my nose. If any of you can see my nose, I was messing with him this morning, and I got a clawing on the nose, and you can see my nose is quite blemished at the minute. So it looks like but we were messing, and I was snuffling into his belly, and next thing all of a sudden he started digging at my face, and so I don't know, is he talking to me at the moment? He's outside, all right. We'll see if we can get him in later on. Anyway, he's definitely not going to be starting. I can definitely say that. He will not be starting for Aston Villa and will not affect the team sheet tantrum that much. But Paddy, we've seen the press conference that Unai Emery had yesterday, or we've heard it, or we've read it, or whatever the case may be. Obviously, he's the two big names there back are Watkins and Mings. Any chances they get starts today, or do you think it's going to be status quo from the Spurs game?
I don't see them, and I wouldn't risk them that quickly. But what I would do, if required, is get Mings in for the last 20 minutes, just to make sure he's up to speed heading into this week. Because I've said it before during the week. We need to get Kamara playing at his natural position. So I'd rather have him playing at the natural position on Wednesday and next Saturday. But let's not overlook today. Today is important. Today is absolutely monumental on our season. If we don't win today, we're automatically on the back foot, especially after Chelsea losing last night. So let's focus on today, rather than me talking about the rest of the week. But that needed to be said. That's why I would have him back in there for 20 minutes, half an hour at the end, just to get him back up to speed and hopefully get him starting during the week. But do I feel there's a need to have him in there today? I don't think so, personally. But Unai picks the team and could very well put him in there from the start. Watkins, on the other hand, again, is there any need for him there with the embarrassment of riches we have in the attacking department? Probably not. So, bigger fish to fry later in the week. I reckon we fry this fish quite easily today. And that's not me being arrogant. It's just me being expectant, given that the performance we've seen last week, and now that people are back on their toes with competition behind them.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? Something's just struck me today, Paddy. We've got a lot of people in the chat announcing where they're from again. That's brilliant to see, because Martin, all the way from New Zealand, I know Martin is down in New Zealand. Great to see you, Martin, as well. And Matthew is in Vietnam. We have, I'm going to miss some of these, so I do apologize, because I'm scrolling really, because I know the team is going to be out in like the next 10 seconds. David Ward is in Bangkok. Duncan says my voice is nearly back. It is nearly back. It's coming and going. I don't know, will it ever fully be back at this stage? It's 2 weeks today since it went, so I don't know what the story is. And Eddie Montenegro has just stepped out on New Street after a journey from New York. Apart from hoping an actual centre half is playing, all I care about is getting 3 points. I think best of luck today, Eddie, at the game, and hopefully you're a good luck charm in Villa Park today, because as you said, Paddy, I think it is huge for Villa today. I think the loss for Chelsea, and I'm going to call it relative dysfunction. Oh, greetings from Riga. Dennis White's out in Riga. Jesus, come on, Dennis.
Well, Dennis, he's getting around.
He's getting around. Is that your bust that's in the photograph there as well, Dennis, in the profile photograph? I'd say that'll get over some hard terrain, all right. But as you mentioned, you know, the loss of Chelsea's loss and the perceived dysfunction that's going on there, specifically fans aren't happy and so on. that might play into our hands. Good man, Brendan, and good man, Paul. Thanks a million for being members of the channel. And with that, we do have a team sheet. And the team sheet is out. It's Martinez in goals, Garcia, Kamara, Disasi, Dina, McGinn, Tielemans, Malin, Ramsey, Rogers, Watkins. So there's a man at the very, very top of the page here. Mike Kane was going to have a heart attack if Bailey or Bogard are in the starting 11. So you live to fight another day, Mike. You live to fight another day because they aren't in the starting 11 for you for today. But the subs are Olsen, Ziyech, Bogard, Maatsen, Mings, Asensio, Jimoloa, and Rashford. So Bailey isn't even on the bench today, which is interesting. Which is
very interesting.
Yeah,
you'd have to think he's carrying a knock.
You'd have to. You have to. Yeah.
Really, really unusual. Yeah, no big surprises. I think I did call that Bailey might miss out today, but I didn't think it was going to be missing out because Watkins was back. I thought he might play one of the other two, and Bailey's miss out. But they're both on the bench, and yeah, that's no huge surprise in there. Garcia has been given another chance. Dina was a big decision, I suppose, with the games ahead. He's gone with them. He hasn't really let us down. The Sassy's in there. Be interesting to see what he can do. It's the first time I've seen he wears number 3. Interesting too. Yeah, and McGinn and Tielemans, and McGinn coming off one of his best games of the season, as is Bailey. I'm sure one of our on-site reporters will get an insight into that, but you'd have to think there's a knock there or an illness or something along those lines.
Yeah, I think so. I think there must be there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8 subs on the bench again. I can't imagine he's been left out for just because they didn't want to play him. You name 9 subs if you possibly can. But look, Asensio, Rashford, Jimoloba are the attacking changes there. Bogard is going to step in at right back and in central midfield, and then you're going to have Maatsen and Mings then on the left side or in centre half. So look, makes sense with those substitutes. Do you know what? Fair play to Jimo Aloba as well. And look, I know you're never going to turn down senior football or the chance of senior football or Unai Emery wanting to get you into the senior setup, but he's foregone essentially the European youth or the youth European Champions League thingy. And he's a big loss to that team, but they performed well during the week without him. But I'm sure that's something that he would have liked to have been able to have on his CV. They've got Barcelona now next, but he's been drafted up to the senior team, and hopefully he takes that chance with both hands. Because as a starting striker, he's somebody who can come on as a striker. He's somebody who can come on in attacking midfield. And I don't envisage we're going to see minutes unless there's an injury today. But it's great to see our younger players, like himself and Bogard, and obviously the likes of Ramsey there, getting into the starting 11 and breeding our own players, should I say?
Yeah, I don't agree that there won't be minutes. So I think he's the kind of manager that will reward that kind of loyalty and that kind of decision making.
But maybe not today, I don't think. But yeah.
Well, if we're 2-0 up with a half an hour to go, why why leave Watkins on? Take Watkins on, put him on, and use the other players in the wide positions. That's how I see it going. Should have come to that, but I'm being way over the top in optimism here that we're going to be ahead. It's going to be very, very tough to break them down, and I'm sure you'll bring up the team in a minute. And I have a feeling they won't be in numerical order, and we'll have to try and work out who's playing where.
Well, they are.
Oh, no,
they're there. Right. So it's as I was saying in the preview, the lad from West Brom, Palmer's and goals, Tuanzebe right back, Connor Townsend left back with Darrow Shea and Greaves in the middle, Calvin Phillips and Kajus will hold with Johnson, Hutchinson and Seesaw all playing behind Delap. On the bench, then you've got Murich, Godfrey, Wolfenden, Luongo, Taylor, our old boy Philogene, Clark on the bench, Broadhead and Hurst also on the bench there as well. So I presume that Johnson, I know that Johnson is Ben Johnson playing a small bit further forward, or maybe they're going to play 3 at the back with Tuanzebe, O'Shea and Greaves, Townsend one side and Ben Johnson on the right hand side with Phillips and Kajust holding, and maybe playing something like a 3-5 or 3-4-3 type of formation. There would be interesting to see what way they set up. But they're shit scared of our left side anyway. It looks by the fact that they're playing Ben Johnson over there, whether he's right back or whether he's going to be playing in that kind of right winger role. They're looking to shut down our left hand side.
Yeah, could very well be a 5 defensively without the ball, as you say. Is Leif Davis injured?
It must be. Well, the first I heard, I thought he was. Maybe, don't know.
I would have thought
he's not there.
One of the first names on the team sheet. He's had a decent season. He's obviously he's not on the bench, obviously. But the surprise is the Philogene isn't starting. I thought would have been the time for him to put him in there from the start today, given that he's up against his twice former club, I suppose we could call us at this stage.
Yeah,
and look, who's to say he won't come off the bench and give us a run for our money? And we know he's more than capable of it. The more I look at it, it's definitely a back five without the ball, isn't it? He can't.
I think it has to be. Absolutely has to be. Yeah. Absolutely has to be. Yeah.
It's kind of a 5-3-1-1 nearly.
And yeah. I've always been a fan of when Villa play against teams that play 3/5 at the back. I think Watkins likes to play against 3 at the back. Now, this will probably turn into 6 at the back because I can see Calvin Phillips just being as deep can be. And that's going to be the issue here. But look, in previous times when we've talked about low blocks and we've talked about, teams coming to park the bus, we've not had Rashford and Asensio to be able to bring on. So look, here's our proof of concept. You improve your attack and, for the last half hour, bring those guys on, see what we can do. Look, you prefer to be looking at them than looking for them in an instance like this. But hopefully we don't need to look to the last 30 minutes at 0-0 or something along those lines. Hopefully we can get out to a fast start, get an early goal, try and stamp our authority with our home crowd going absolutely nuts. Because I think the crowd are going to be big today. I think, the crowd know that the result went our way last night for Chelsea, albeit Brighton have leapfrogged us as well. They're no mugs either, obviously, and not that we're stating that at all. But Chelsea are the duck that we need to hunt. They're the one in 4th place at the moment, and we do have them coming up over the course of the next 7 days. So win today is huge, and the crowd will know that, and the crowd will be on it today. And I'm expecting it to be loud in Villa Park, and I'm expecting it to be expecting that 12th man to help too, as well as the substitutes that we have in the bench.
Yeah. I was reading up a little bit on that Alex Palmer. He seems to be a local lad as well. Spent some time at Kidderminster, a lot of time at Baggies, obviously. Lincoln, Luton Town, Notts County, all fairly Midland-centric teams. You've obviously done your homework. You knew he was going to come in there. Plenty of experience and probably what they needed to do, given their predicament that they're in. The biggest thing is where the goal's going to come from and who's going to create them. So we've got to be wary of Enciso. He every time he's rocked up to Villa Park, he's had a great game. I have an awful memory of that game where we secured the European football against Brighton when he scored, but it was just slightly offside. Mm-hmm. He had a horrible little celebration in front of the whole end to really piss us off. So we enjoyed it when it was overruled for offside.
Paddy?
Pardon?
Were you at that game? Were you at that game?
Yeah.
I remember watching it in the back of a pub in Tuam, and Munster were playing rugby as well afterwards, and everybody was there to watch the rugby match. And I asked them to turn on the game and the dodgy box, and the whole place booed for about 8 minutes while I was watching the end of the game, because I was watching my phone, watching the match on my phone, and then of course I went nuts. I remember doing the team sheet or the post match after that. There was another bar beside the bar, and the bar was closed, and your man went out and opened it up and goes, "Go on away in there and do your post match there." I told him I was on Sky Sports. It's mad things you remember from games like that. But I was on cloud 9 after that. Like, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
what a day that was. Yeah, what a day.
Absolutely.
But you're right about Enciso. Enciso has got the magic in his boots, and he's someone we're going to need to marshal. I think John McGinn will be tasked with getting up him up his posterior pretty early, making sure that
A
he
little
is.
bit of irony in the fact that he's making a love heart there, because I always felt he didn't have the heart for the fight. So, as you say, put him up against the likes of John
Don't be drawing
McGinn.
him out, Paddy. Don't be drawing him out.
All right, I'm pretty sure at 65 minutes to kick off, he's not watching our team sheet tantrum at this stage.
Maybe. But yeah, look, I think they've set out their stall. Yeah, the more I look at it, yeah, and exactly as Anna Grady said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, everyone. Costs you nothing, and it really drives the algorithm mad as Arsenal nearly score against Leicester there. But yeah, I think they've set out their stall for the forward back more. I'm reading here on Twitter as well from Ipswich fans. They're talking, they like the team. They're saying that Davis and Morsi, another guy, Sam Morsi, who should have been sent off for us in the first game, the game at Portman Road. He's not playing as well either there. They're not happy with their attack. Actually, do you know what? We can read it. Well, maybe you can't read it there. Someone here, Stuart, is saying, let's just keep playing Hutchinson, even though he's been absolutely waffle lately. And also have Clark and Broadbent, who are actually left wingers. So, like, yeah, the guys here on Twitter, Ipswich fans, seem to be giving Omari Hutchinson the Leon Bailey treatment here as well. Yeah, some people saying it's a great team. I think it's a strong team from Ipswich for sure myself. Scott Cheese here says I think this team is pretty good balance.
Hutchinson played nearly every game last year in the championship and was excellent. Scoring double digits in goals. He hasn't hit the ground running in the Premier League. You can't single him out for that, because the team itself hasn't functioned enough to get him involved in games. So, look, he's been involved in nearly every game, and look, he's a decent player. He's obviously valued very, very highly, and they've put a lot of money into him. Whether it transpires that he is only a championship player remains to be seen. But we will need to keep an eye on him, because he on his day he's capable of anything. So stay tight to him. Keep him under wraps, and that if he can keep that front three quiet, I just don't see how they're going to function. And just keep them pressed inside their own half.
I think so for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting looking at this. Yeah, thanks very much, Matt. Really appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Early start for you today. Well, early-ish start. Yeah, 8 hours. So that's just coming up in 6 a.m. I think for you at the moment. So thanks a million for tuning in. But it is interesting to read the teams. Like, we don't usually do this, but I'm reading they're talking about team news being leaked the night before, stuff like that. That it's consistently always getting leaked the night before. You know, there's Twitter does throw up its own alternate universe at times, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But look, the game isn't.
It wasn't leaked in the Villa circles. Well, maybe to our management team it might have been, but maybe, I would have expected Morsi and Leif Davis to play. And obviously it wasn't said in any presser, or we would have heard it. So look, it's one of those things, and I'm just disappointed that I don't make a few quid today, because Sam Morsi was always a great man to back for a yellow card.
Myself. So in Euro, what was it? Euro 21. Whichever one happened anyway during COVID. When Kevin, thanks a million, Patrick. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Whichever one of the Euros happened during COVID, one of myself and one of my mates, he's always in the comments there, Dara. We made an absolute fortune off booking Calvin Phillips to have over X amount of fouls, or Calvin Phillips to be booked. And Christ, we made a fortune that summer. So might go back to old times there and see if we can get Phillips to be booked. But hopefully he can't get anywhere near the ball. He can't get anywhere near the play.
Just a reminder that if anybody is going to bet, please bet responsibly.
Please bet responsibly, of course.
When we say we make a fortune, it's probably Neil made a tenner. So we're not talking about making
40 quid.
Stupid money.
40 quid one game. I think
bet responsibly. As you may have noticed, we don't condone betting on this on this channel. We don't take any betting sponsorships or put them on the screen or anything like that. So we bet responsibly, please.
Exactly. Excellent.
But drink irresponsibly. That's fine.
Yeah, you do. Drink irresponsibly and bet responsibly. Absolutely. Paddy, what are you going with for your score prediction today?
See, I hate doing this. I was going to go big, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm going to go a comfortable 2-0 win.
You're going to go 2-0.
I was going to go higher, but I'm going with a 2-0 win.
I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3-1. Just because I've been backing to nil for quite a while now. Or not, I've been predicting to nil, should I say, for quite a while now. And we're always conceding. So maybe it's my fault. Maybe I need to change something. So I'm going to say 3-1. I'm going to say 3-1 to Aston Villa today. And I'm going to call the goal scorers. The goal scorers will be Daniel Mallon will get a goal. We're going to get a goal from defence. I don't know who's going to score, but we're going to get a goal from defence. And feck it, John McGinn's going to pop up in the box somewhere along the lines. Why not? Why not? Absolutely, why not? Get your scores in there in the chat, guys, and we will start reading them out. Excellent. So Charlie's going for, Andy is in there first. He's going for 3-1. Rashford, Watkins, Mellon. Charlie's going for 2-1. Ty Doyle's going for 6-0. Dan Downey's going for 3-1. Duncan Kilburn is going for 5-0. Dreams Villain 3-0. Stephen is going for 5-0. Andy's going for 3-1. Tyra is going for 5-1. Buzz the Duck going for 8-1. Jake Aston Villa is going for 3-1 to the Villa with an Essential rocket. The Sassy on his debut in 4-1, says James Francom. James Francom, thank you very much for emailing me during the week. Actually, I must get back to you as well. And also, there's a guy by the name of Sean Moynihan. Thank you, James, for popping in there. You reminded me about this as well. There's a guy called Sean Moynihan as well, who's going over to the game with his young fella. And I must check to see that he named his young fella here, because he asked me to give him a shout out. So I'm just filling here as I go and find the email that came through. And it is here. First trip to Villa Park. Yeah, to his son Daniel, who's going to Villa Park this Saturday to see IPSWICH. They're really looking forward to it, as always. Be the lucky charm. Be the lucky charm, Daniel and Sean, and bring us back the 3 points. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Richard is going for 5-2. Michael Huggins is going for 3-0. Patrick and Michael is over in Thailand, I think, at the moment, isn't he, Paddy? So we have another one that's in a far-flung climes at the minute watching the podcast. Patrick is going for 5-1. Carlo Weather is going for 2-0. Kurt, good to see you, Kurt. Good to see you in chat. Hope you're doing well. Is going for 2-1. Cat Cannon's going for 4-2. Audrey's going for 3-1. Bear in the Garden's going 6-2. 9-1 and to concede in the 98th minute, says Big Matthew. Martin's going for 3-0. Dalian Statkinson was a name I came up for Stato earlier on today. So Dalian Statkinson, you will forever be known as now on this podcast, has gone for 4-0. And by the way, we throw directly into Dale's feed for his live watch-alongs after this as well. So stay here. You'll be thrown directly into his feed once it starts. And if you aren't thrown into his feed, just look it up on YouTube and go and find it, because Dale does great live watch-alongs. Does Mr. Statkinson. And O'Grady is going for 4-1. C. Line is going 3-1. Logan is going for 3-1. Rachel Lewis is going for 3-1. 3-2, says Andy. 4-0, says David. Rusty's going 4-2. 7-1, says Mark Woods. But maybe that's the tablets talking. JP's going for 2-1. Mr. Pond is going for 4-0. Jamie's going for 2-1. Osdrum's going for 3-1. Ryan is going 2-0. Peter's going for 3-0 with a Malin Brace Watkins goal. Patrick 3-0. Rob Henry going for 3-2. John is going for, I thought it was John McGinn there for a moment. John Morgan is going for 3-1. Richard is going for 3-2 or 3-1, and Michael is going for 2-0. Greg is going for 4-1. Michael O'Brien is going 6-0. Rich is going 4-1. Elizabeth, good to see, is going for 2-1. Brendan McDonough is going 4-1. Matthew Maguire is going 3-0. Richard Parks is going 5-3. Ivor's going 4-0. Charlie's going 4-1. Greg is going for 3-1. Villamania is going for 6-0. Joe's going Villa 3. Rob Jones 1. Paul is going for 7-0. 3-1 says Derek Brown. No, Bears Ask is no one going for 0-0. Paul Miller is going for 4-1. Dancing Brave is going for 4-1 as well. Lot Young is going 4-0. Kev Warner is going 3-1. And last but not least, 3-0, says Stephen Wright. Yeah, I'm liking the confidence, guys. I'm liking the confidence. Look, obviously, we're always going to be confident in this podcast. Why not? Because if you're not confident going into games like this, specifically when we've amassed the team that we have, playing at home in front of our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful fans, and with some of the people that we can bring off the bench, I think we should be confident. Will our confidence be misguided? Could be come 90 minutes, but we will be back here for our post-match podcast to be able to discuss all our misguided confidence, if that is the case, or to discuss how well guided our confidence was, depending on whether Villa lose or Villa win later on. Have you any parting nuggets, Paddy, before we wrap this one up and we'll let everybody get ready for kickoff?
No parting nuggets, just expecting a win. Hopefully it's a big win to put us in good stead for the week ahead. Best of luck to Sassy on making his debut today. Obviously, as I said, I'm expecting a win. I'm a little bit more nervous as the time gets nearer the time, but I hope everybody enjoys their afternoon. I hope it's not too wet and dank at Villa Park. I just seen the weather at Leicester there a while ago. It didn't look too healthy. But yeah, enjoy your afternoon. Hopefully it's 3 points in the bag, whatever way they come, and onwards and upwards for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching and for listening. There's nearly 1,000 people in here. 3 o'clock on Saturday is difficult. Lots of people are working. So really appreciate everybody, all the time that you give us, regardless of the podcast that we do, the good ones, the bad ones, the indifferent ones. When our internet is working, when our internet isn't working, when my voice is working, when my voice isn't working, when I'm pissed, when I'm sober, when Paddy's pissed, when Paddy's sober. Thanks a million for all the time that you give us on the podcast, as always. And because yesterday was Valentine's Day, I just wanted to throw out that little bit of love to everybody for that and for all you do for the podcast. But we will be back with a post-match podcast, bang on the final whistle. So as Paul Miller says, like and subscribe to be up to date with that. And yeah, here's hoping we're talking about an Aston Villa win. So in the meantime, everybody, don't worry, we will throw you directly into Dale's into Dale's feed, AVFC status feed for the watch along after this. But in the meantime, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.